What's good, Pepito?
Hey, bro, chilling, dog.
How you been, man? How you been with the trading, dude?
Man, I've been all right, dog. I blew up two accounts,
Okay,
but uh, but this other one, I think I'm doing way better. So far, I bought a Lucid account like it's a while back.
good.
Como se llama? So far, so good. One of my worst days was on Tuesday. I lost like $100.
How much?
500,
Okay,
508.
cool.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that loss?
Eh, Setting up proper entries and looking at the data. I would say like a day before where to more or less find proper entry.
You marked your zone
But
properly, everything?
that's what I've been learning. Also, emotions are in check, especially when it comes to trading here. So I've been doing pretty good with that.
I'm glad to hear that. No, and after the whole divorce, finally getting finalized,
Oh my
that gives
God,
you a lot
bro,
of
that was
clarity.
yeah. So yeah, pretty much this month, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the fourth is when I got divorced. Bro, after that shit, I'm able to think clear. This is why having that mentality,
Mm-hmm.
having the proper mindset for this shit, clear mind, clear discipline helps out with the trading because my shit, I feel like I was held back because of my mindset. I was going through like high amounts of fucking stress. You know, my finances weren't doing good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now I secured a job with UM, so that's a permanent role.
Congrats.
I'm able to, yeah,
And that
no
was
holes,
that
no
was
nothing,
that
bro.
was directly with the university. It wasn't like an agency or a contract, right?
No, no, that's directly from the university. Yeah,
Damn, that's amazing. That's
yeah,
awesome.
bro. Oh, yeah, and guess what? I literally live like 6 minutes away from the school.
That's awesome, bro. So you save on gas,
Yes,
tolls, parking, I'm assuming. Chilling, bro.
the parking situation is managed by the city, so it's not good.
Oh, damn.
There's too many events. However, I went to UM like on Saturday just to check out my building, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just to see where I'm at since I was gonna go to Whole Foods. It's literally on the way. And bro, I decided to buy an electric scooter.
There you go. Even better.
So
Even
yeah,
better.
I'm up. And it's a 10-minute commute, bro.
Of course, bro. It's not that hard,
Ten
bro.
minute commute, dog.
It's not that hard. Everything in Miami is like accessible. That's the good thing.
Yeah, bro.
And even if it
So, bro, I don't. I
even
got
if
peace, bro.
even if it wasn't a scooter, you could just always do bus. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I can run that shit, dude.
Yeah, for real. I mean, you'll get sweaty as hell too. Well,
Bro, yeah, whatever, dog. But there's showers at the gym there at UM, so
that's
I
what's
can
up.
use their gyms if anything.
That's what's up. Hey,
But
Karina. Hey,
bro,
Marcos.
so
Hey,
far so
Queen.
good.
Glad
Hi.
glad to hear that, bro. By the way, Karina is gonna be a new trader in our community, guys. She's gonna need all of our support. If I'm not mistaken, that's my Karina, right, Karina?
Yes.
Glad to hear
Hi.
that. So she's basically starting from zero. She has some knowledge in what like trading with like Robinhood stocks and stuff like that. But she's gonna be pretty much learning from us, support and resistance, and a few different topics that we need to be patient with her. She might have a lot of questions over time, so please, everybody that's here, make sure you guys answer any questions she may ever throw. Because I really want to see her get into this like world of ours where she's gonna be excelling. And the good thing is that she already has a family member that is in our community server that's gonna hold her hand and basically walk her through a lot of the stuff. If I can't, and if he can't, you guys are always gonna be there for her as well. What's up, She Wolves? I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. And She Wolves is another one that's actually going to be starting soon. I've seen her build her setup. She's starting up her little computer stuff. So she's setting up a office desk. She's another one that's going to be under my wing. So I'm hoping a lot of you guys can really take advantage of what we're doing here because it's like what I tell you guys. We have Jimmy who's here with us tonight, and Jimmy just recently made about what was it 15K? I forgot how much it was. 15
30.
30,000. Jesus Christ, $30,000 recently. And that's huge. Like for you guys to have
Let's
accessibility
fucking
to
go,
people.
Jimmy. Hell yeah.
For you guys to be able to have
Oh,
accessible
sure.
like access to people that are doing what everybody wants to do is so impactful because you don't realize that the next person next to you is doing it. You could do it too, you know? And it's like what I always tell people. It's just a matter of having discipline and having the right mindset that you can achieve profitability. You can achieve discipline. You can achieve consistency. It just requires you to be really locked in on what's more important. How much effort are you putting into it? How much are you taking of the time to learn a subject? Or what are you applying to every single day to become a better person outside of the charts and on the charts, right? Because that's the most important thing. Yo, what's good, Sway? So, with that being said, I just wanted to kind of open the dialogue on anybody that may have a question on anything specific. Because, like I told you guys, this is not about me creating a topic or making a class out of whatever I want. I'd rather it be an open dialogue where you guys can ask your questions and all of us can pitch in. There's no right or wrong answer, and I don't even have to be the only person talking. The good things, like what I keep mentioning, we have good traders here who are here to support one another and basically lead by an example. So anybody that has a question, the floor is yours. Don't be shy now. Nobody here bites. Sway, I know you got questions, bro. Break the ice.
Uh, so, man, I'm trying to keep up with your trainings, but my I live in Germany, so my time is off is different from you guys. Like right now, it's 1 a.m. I'm supposed to be sleeping,
I
getting
hear
up
you.
at 5 a.m.
I hear you. Don't worry. It's gonna be recorded, so don't even worry about it, Jay. The good thing is that you showed up, you
Yeah,
said hi, and at least I know that you made the effort to show up, okay? But feel free to watch the video when I upload it later on. Just get ready to hear a lot of rambling, okay? I ramble a lot.
yeah.
Hey Marcos, you got any questions, bro? I know you got questions, bro. You're gonna be a profitable trader too. He's another one of ours, guys, that I keep mentioning that I've been teaching a lot about, just basic concepts, how to see continuation candles, how to see the market trend. And one of the struggles that I see Marcos himself have is that Marcos understands how to enter the market, but he doesn't understand how to exit. And that's a problem a lot of us have, because a lot of times we want to look at a trade as something that we lock in, or we just basically stick with a bias without understanding that there is going to be retracements, or there is going to be consolidations, or there is situations where we are in a reversal area. So basically, Marcos is one of those people that, in such a short amount of time that he's been trading, or at least learning the skill, he has a lot of potential to become the next Jimmy. He has a lot of potential to become the next Regal, and a lot of different traders that we have in our community. But basically, the only thing he's dealing with at the moment is understanding the structure of the market, where he basically, look, he just made a 1,500 across two accounts. Jesus Christ, buddy. I hope you're short in the market. Won't be able to talk for now, but really you got a buzz in your mic when you're talking. You know what it is? I think I need to buy a new mic because I just realized that the zone that controls my mic is damaged. I think I stepped on it by mistake or something, and it caused some damage to that. So I will be getting a new mic, guys. I promise you. I'll get a new mic, so you guys don't have these issues anymore. Karan, what's good, bro? How you been? Isabel,
Yeah, I'm good.
good
How have you
evening.
been?
Good, bro. Just got I'm finally rebuilding my accounts again. I finally requested a payout from Top Step just recent today, and I got another winning day to do tomorrow to get another payout. That's basically putting me about, I think, $4,000 and some change in the amount of 7 days. So it's like rebuilding becomes easy nowadays because I don't have to struggle with understanding where market is going. So little by little, it's just a matter, if I lose it all, I can always restart again, right? That's the beautiful part. Now, what I'm struggling with is like what I was telling Jimmy the other day, is that I need to get into the whole copy trading thing. So just as much as you guys have your struggles, I have my own struggles. And basically, the only way I'm gonna get there is if I avoid and tune out that fear inside of me. So I will be doing that shortly, this coming week. I don't want to do it this week. I want to do it the following because I know market conditions are just a little rough at this moment. And just reading price has been a little hard. If it's hard for me, I can't even imagine for you guys. That I'm in tune with the market. yes, with the reading of the price, 100%. But one thing that happens is I keep telling you guys, I keep looking for something specific, and that specific is not happening. So it's making it hard for me to really take a lot of the trades that I'm calling. Um, so that's where I'm struggling at the moment. How's the whole losing streak for you, Karan? What have you been doing different? Have you been able to get any dubs?
No, I've been taking loss after loss, but that's mainly because I'm working and I can't monitor my trades at work. So that's the main reason.
I do agree with that. I do know that you mentioned that you're always working and you're trading inside the work hours. Bro, that's really hard, man. That's a hard one. I don't know what other things to tell you because the only thing I will be able to tell you is literally doing one micro and taking like a $200-300 loss or making a 1 to 2 ratio where you're making 600, $400 in one micro if the possibilities of the market is there for you. I recommend you to start doing that just because it's better to make 200, $300 a day than to keep blowing these accounts left and right just because you don't have accessibility to sit in front of a computer. Because that you know how to trade, that you know how to trade, it's evident you do. You know how to pass these accounts, you know how to get funded. But I think lowering your size and swinging it when conditions are in perfect conditions or are aligned to at least see that it's gonna run eventually on the long or short, I think it would be good for you. Try that. Look at the 15-minute as your lowest time frame, right? And always look at 1 hour and 4 hour and the daily, and then just go based off that with any new eval you have. If you create a new eval, let me know how that goes, and I'll give you a few pointers in private so we could actually talk about how maybe swing trading may become the better option for you specifically. Okay. Um, Isabel, tell me, what have you been learning recently? You've been MIA, girl. I've been looking for you. El Güero, what's up, bro? How you been? It's
Oh,
been a minute since you've
can
been
you
here.
hear me?
I hear you now, loud and clear.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just be taking notes about, the false breakouts, the liquidity, equal highs, all of that.
Wonderful. And you know, just like there's equal highs, there's equal lows, right?
Equal highs and equal lows, yes.
And what do you look for when you're looking for equal highs or equal lows? How do you get in the market?
Well, you don't really, well, how do I explain it? It's like you wait for the liquidity sweep. That's just how you say it, sweep.
Let's just call it a BNR. What's a BNR?
BNR.
A break and retest. Write that down. BNR. Whenever you hear me say
I
BNR,
have it on my notes. It's just a little, but I have it here.
all right, good, good, good. I'm glad to hear that. But yes, when you see equal highs and equal lows, just consider that the breakout of that zone, like wherever the resistance was, you wait for it to come back to retest and continue to the upside or to the downside, whichever
But
direction it
after
goes.
after it happens with the break and retest, you wait for confirmation candle, right?
Yes, I'll give you an example right in front of us. So you have right here equal highs, right? This is your basically confirmation of 1, 2, 3, and then that rejection is your directional move. So this candle's already giving you the direction. And then you can see how this one comes
Joseph,
back
you showing your
rejecting.
screen? We can't see it.
Oh shoot, you guys are not seeing my screen at all. Oh my god, my fault, yo.
No, sir.
They get my bad, guys. My fault. That was my fault. This whole time I thought you guys were watching my screen. Oh damn. Sheesh. This whole time I think you guys are watching my screen. See. Yeah, I'm always gonna put my webcam on. Ever since I got a webcam, I'm like I might as well always have a webcam. You know, I'm cute enough to have a webcam in my face. You know what I'm saying? Just kidding. But yes. All right. So you see how we have equal highs? We have equal highs. We got a neckline retest. So you have 1, 2, 3. Basically, this is confirmation of us coming into like a resistance supply zone, and then from here we basically have the directional move. So in essence, what we're saying is just to kind of like make that clear for you. We have the equal highs, right? We identified that. Why? Because we already know that flush was the fact that we have that direction. Now, the problem is everybody wants to chase this market dump. Everybody wants to enter once they're here or once they're here. So what market always does, it reverses. It's usually a three candle bar. So you'll see 1 and 2 and 3. and it usually ends at the neckline. You see how we have this support area that they created over here? If this was resistance and this is support, and you're getting the support retested, and it looks like it's gonna go up, but it's not, right? You could just wait for this candle to show up where you're getting your directional move as a break and retest and continuation to the downside. Once you see that downside move, you basically just enter here, or you if you get a sniper, you enter here, you know? Or if you're really, really good and you just enter here, you already know, oh, okay, I can basically keep holding my trade, especially like Karan, that he will eventually become a swing trader, in my opinion. He could basically see these kind of directional moves on the 4 hour. And with the 15 minute, if you look at the 15 minute where I pointed, let's look at what that looks like. You can see it obviously looks like a lot of noise, right? So we came from a supply. You see the supply over here? So we came all the way back for it to set it up with equal highs, multiple rejections, and then you have this confirmation where market's just basically dumping. So what you're looking for on the 15 minute is you're looking for those equal highs all the time. And once you see equal highs, what's the next thing for you to know that direction is only down, guys? What would structure be like? Lower highs, right? Every time it will be a lower high, lower high, lower high. It would never make a new higher high. Never. It never will. And how do you know how higher a higher high will have to go above wherever the market actually dumped from? So if we're dumping from here initially and we just keep coming back to retest that, you already know that's your resistance. Like there's nothing you have to argue about that. Now, if just because you see it come back up, it doesn't mean that it's gonna blast through. We basically just come to the supply to take out liquidity. And then from here, we basically can see how the market's going in the uptrend move slowly, but then it moves sideways, and you can see that. And then it creates some manipulation into the downside move. Now, if you look at the 15-minute, Karan, just pay attention to this. If you look at the 15-minute, you basically have like a rising wedge. Is that what you guys call it? You have a rising wedge, and then suddenly it loses its momentum and falls through the crack. Now, if this was your support, right? Let's say this was your support right here. Doesn't that already look like a pattern that it's reversing? It looks a little ugly, right? It looks a little ugly. It's not perfect. But to me, when I see that, I see a reversal. I see the market telling me, yo, it's not breathing to continue to the upside. This what you see right here is just manipulation. Why? Because you're in tune with the market seeing the rejection right here. This little rejection right here, you see how this was support and supposedly this is resistance? That's the flip script of the pivot point. You see that, guys? So how do you know that? It's not just a candle. It's basically zooming out. So that started over here. How far can it go? We don't know, right? But once the resistance is showing you one, two, three, 4 times, and you can see that we came back up to the area where they rejected strong, what is that telling you guys? The direction. It's giving you the direction. Does that make sense
Oh,
for you guys?
quick question, Rigo.
Go ahead.
Why can't you end on the second test of the resistance? That second high point.
My bad. Say that again. I couldn't really hear you that well.
I'm asking why can't you enter on the second test of the resistance point instead of waiting for like the third test and then later that entry that you take, like the
So
second part of the resistance.
is your
No, no,
is your
you see
question
the
ask
M. You
what
see that
this M right
what
here? This M right here?
exactly. Why don't you enter that second
Right.
retest of the resistance
So you
up,
can
further up?
you can see that the resistance was already confirmed here. For me, you can see that
Yeah,
the reason why it was confirmed for me is because you can see how we came and faked out and came back down, and then suddenly you had a sweep.
yeah,
So everybody's stop loss that was entering short because of the fact that we had
yeah,
shorts over here, basically they swept them and came back down. And obviously, market's not gonna fly down. That's the problem we have as traders. Us as traders, we
yeah,
see that the market like it's moving from one direction to the next, and we think it has to go from A through Z. But the market needs to create B, C, D, E to get to that G and H and then to get to that Z. Because once it gets to like GHI or whatever, you're gonna basically see that momentum starts picking up a little bit faster. That's what we call distribution. So there's little waves inside that little resistance that you have to wait for. I think they call it generated liquidity. Um, Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Basically, it's taking off both directions, not giving the direction really clear, and then from there the real move happens. That's why a lot of times it goes back to what I always say. A lot of times you guys will see me call out a zone, and it's a perfect zone. It's just I'm either too early or the zone is just not valid until it actually creates the generated liquidity for them to take the direction of move. So if you ever think of a zone to become the zone that you're gonna take a short or a buy from, make sure that you guys are waiting for that extra confirmation. This is why a lot of times when I was beginning to like teach people in the beginning of like 1 year ago, I would tell them I always go into the second confirmation candle. I never go in the first because the first didn't have the sweep of liquidity at the bottom to take out all the first buyers or sellers, and then it will go in the direction and come back and retest. That's where the break and retest happens. So I hope that answered your question on how to choose a zone.
Yeah, I think so. It's a matter of being patient, I guess.
Now
Step
here's
up.
here's where it changes for you, right, Jay? Where it changes for you is that for it to get to your zone is gonna take forever, bro. I mean, like that's where you become a disciplined trader to actually wait for the market to come to you, not for you to chase the market and think, oh, I'm just gonna get in now because I think this is the sniper entry. I don't know if you've noticed, but every time I send you guys ideas, I usually wait to see the whole market like condition for me to actually write something more confident because at the end of the day, I don't want to fuck you guys up, you know? So I'd rather give you guys a direction or some kind of insight that makes more sense when the data is actually closed and that you guys can actually move with the direction of the market instead of being inside all that generated liquidity up and down, you know? Because obviously to you guys, right? This doesn't look like a lot, but bro, that's 200 points right there, right? Look at this. 107 180 points right there. Comes back to the rejection. That's 300 400 points up right there. And then we come back into this area right here. And again, that's from here to here. That's a lot. It's not little. That's what I'm trying to say. It's 90 points. Can you make money inside there? Yes, 100%. But how do you wait for the best move, right? You need to wait for the market to get to the zone and correctly give you the confirmation. That's why I'm saying the 15 minutes usually clean, but the 30 minutes your continuation candle. So if you guys are looking to become swing traders, adapt to avoid the 1 and 5 minute. Stick to the 3 minute as your 1 minute, your 15 minute as the 5 minute, and the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily is your basic like higher time frame for market review. Okay. Any questions on that? All right. All right. Does anybody have any topic they want to talk about? It could be mindset. It could be a trade that you took and maybe you should have added to it, or it could be something about, a specific topic. I'm not gonna keep asking you guys. I don't want to talk about what I want to talk about because if I talk about what I want to talk about, it might bore you guys. All right. What
Not
about
at all, dude. Shoot it at us. What's on your mind?
fuck it? Let's talk about it. It's called the Mag 7. I don't know if you guys know what Mag 7 are. It's basically the Magnificent Seven. Let me go ahead and open up the Mag
Yes,
Seven.
I've heard.
So every time you guys see me talk about
Yeah, dude.
like
I think that
market,
have you heard of that Socrates? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or whatever, but both of you guys, I came across him before, I really got in tune with you, but you two your trading style is just like similar. You remind me of how you trade those two, but you trade way more like okay, understandable than him. I mean,
what's
he just
what's
started,
what's
but
the what's the
his
name
lingo is just like
what's the name of the
yeah,
trader?
like Socrates. So it's like SO.
Oh,
It's like S.
Socrates. Socrates. You talking about Socrates? I think I know you're talking about.
I'm about to find his
Socrates, something like
Instagram.
that. Yeah, I think some
Yeah.
bald guy that he's like a dad or whatever, and he talks about everybody else.
Yeah. Uh huh.
Yeah, Trader, something like that. I forgot.
He's not like too technical or any.
What
Yeah, him
is
right
my
there.
trading
Not
strategy
like
on any time
it's
frame?
just
Now,
lingo. He breaks his stuff down very like real in depth, but just like come on, make it a little easier for He be doing it. He be doing the darn thing though, for real. But yeah, trading style is just a bit. It's like a little similar for real.
I've seen his Instagram reels.
Yeah, but he does the Max 7. And I like how he now with the Max 7 and how he breaks it down is he just trades from the pivot points. I like that because I do that a little bit in my forex strategy.
Cool. Do you guys see the Max 7 on my screen?
Yes.
All right. Let me break it down to you guys. I can't make markings on it because this is not mine. I only have the view mode on because my friend was able to share his link for me. And the reason why I don't share it with you guys is because if I share it with you guys, I won't be able to see it. So that's the only reason why you guys don't have access to this. If not, I would give you access. Okay, guys? So basically, the Magnificent 7, what I have it on is on. I told my friend to put it on the 5 minute. The screen is blurry. No way.
Try to exit out and then rejoin that thing.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
your screen is blurring.
Hold on. Let me try again. All right, can you see it now? Does it look better?
You see?
It looks better now or no?
No, it looks the same. The crazy thing is, I see it at 1080p in 60 FPS.
Damn, that sucks.
That's weird, bro. That's weird.
All right, perfect. So either way, it might be record. It's gonna be recorded, and you guys can still probably go back to the recap. I'm just gonna make this quick. It's not gonna be a long time. I promise. So I just want to basically touch base on how you guys can hear me interpret like the real data in real time. Whenever you guys are basically hearing me say, "Oh, Nvidia and Tesla, this and that," because at the end of the day, you guys might be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" But it's not that hard. I swear, it's simple. Where are we at? All right, just let me get everything in the tune where it should be. This is where my real edge comes in, to be honest with you, because I feel like I have a strength at reading. Like my edge is reading the behavior of the candles, and I'm able to interpret that like in real time and adapt to whatever I see basically on Nasdaq. Uh, my bad, guys. I'm just adjusting all of them at the same time. Here. So let's go one by one, right? So here we have Nvidia. Nvidia, I don't know, does it look a little better now, by the way, or no?
I
Guys,
mean, we can see the candlesticks, but it's
it's still
it still
blurry.
looks the same.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
somebody said way better, but cool.
It's all good. It's all good.
But let's go one by one, right? So every 8 a.m. I'm marking out in the Nasdaq. I'm marking out with the point of control, the fixed range volume profile tool. I'm marking out from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. That gives me a point of control of wherever Nasdaq held the zone with the most trading. And usually, what it does, it'll give me a confirmation of whether we break away or we break down into a direction. And how I'm interpreting that point of control is basically at 9:30, every time we see a pump, there's two important things. Tesla and Nvidia are usually seen as the ones that make the momentum towards a direction. So a lot of times they're in sync and a lot of times they look like they're a little lagged. So Nvidia usually moves the market and then sometimes Tesla is moving the market. So that's why you'll hear me say it looks like we're about to rally, and it's because I can see that everything is green except Nvidia, or I can see everything red, but Nvidia and Tesla are together at the same time, and that's where you see the market still stalled, but it looks like it wants to move. So long story short, if I'm seeing here at 8 a.m. that we have sort of like some kind of like rally based rally, but then they come back. For me, that's already a key level. I talk about this a lot of times. Why? Because if this was resistance, this is resistance, and now we have some sort of like 50% retracement. I don't know if you guys can see that, but from here to here, that's a 100% move, right? And then somewhere here is like 50%. So if it comes right back down over here, if you're eyeballing, like me, I could eyeball that this is sort of 50% of this whole swing to the upside. So swing low, swing high, I know that this is more or less 50%. So when I see an impulsive move to the upside, all I'm really waiting for in real time, I'm waiting for the market to come back and give me a key level. So the key level is created. Why? Because resistance turns into support. I say this all the time. And suddenly, not only that, you have what I call a castle. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you see how we have one castle, the head, and then the left. When I have an M with a castle, it usually creates a W. You can see the W right here. I can't draw on this, and it sucks. But basically, what you guys are seeing is this. W castle. I'm sorry. My bad. Let me scratch that off. You're seeing M castle, right? Resistance coming back, retesting for what? A W. So basically, you're just seeing resistance turn to support. If I go back to that, you can see that. You see the M? The M is right here. One, two, and then castle. And then basically you have the 4-bar reversal in a level of resistance turning into support. Guys, this is like real sauce. I'm not even kidding. This is all I'm looking at. I don't get technical with this shit. If this is resistance turning into support, we have 4-bar reversal, break and retest. Isabel, pay attention. Then you already know the directional move is to the upside. Now, once you see resistance become for real, like in an area where we did not take the wick, if that wick did not get taken out, you already know they're coming back for that wick. When? I don't know, but they will. And then eventually they do. You can see how it just keeps bouncing, bouncing, and boom, takes off, and then comes right back to a key level. You see the key level, support, support. Now, these people entered here, right? All their stop losses are here. Don't you think that when they come all the way down here, they take all their stop losses? But notice how they never come where? In the neutral candle. That neutral candle is where the footprint of the market came in. So basically, if you look over here, the body of this candle specifically, look how low that went. And then if you go even lower, basically they had two footprints in the market where the market makers liked to fill their orders. So what do? They pump up hard, right? And then you suddenly have a sweep at the top, just like you had a sweep at the bottom, right? And then what happens next? After that sweep, you're basically going to the downside, taking out what? All these people stop losses, right? And then you have confirmation of direction. One resistance, two resistance, three resistance, take out everybody that enters stop losses here, right? And then they just move to the downside. And basically we're here. So we're holding some sort of support area at this moment. But let's look at Tesla. Same shit. 8 a.m., right? All right, this one's a little more clear. This is like classic bullish pattern. Classic bullish pattern. All right, guys? All right, so if this is 6 a.m. in the morning, right? We have resistance, right? We come back up. We take out everybody's stop loss, right? Basically coming back into a zone that creates like support, equal lows. Pay attention to that. If I'm interpreting this as equal lows, what am I waiting for, Isabel? Isabel, if we have equal lows, what am I waiting for me to enter the market? Anybody want to answer?
Well, I don't know if I'm right, but wouldn't you wait for the break and the retest?
Okay, perfect. So we have equal lows, right? And we have a break. This is the breakout right here. You see how this is
Hmm.
resistance? We have one, two, three candles, just like I mentioned earlier, right? And we have three candles to the upside that broke away from that resistance. We do have a gap right here, and it comes back to do what? Create support, right? Because we create resistance into support. And not only that, we have a 4-bar reversal. One, two, three, four. Now suddenly you have a continuation candle with strong buying pressure. Why? Because sellers try to sell, but what happened? Buyers came and absorbed them. And now what do you have? Continuation to the upside. So basically, if you entered anywhere in the break and retest, right, you're basically just letting market ride out. You're not feeling any kind of fear because all you're seeing is market continuation to the upside. Now, obviously, it is a little scary, right? It's a little scary when you're seeing market not really move a lot in 5 minutes and you're like, shit, it's gonna come back. Not really, because you can see how market basically created the equal highs, right? They got taken out, they came back, equal lows. Perfect disaster for what, guys? Continuation, a perfect storm. What I call perfect storm, guys, is when you generate liquidity on both sides and you get a directional move into up or down. So from there, you're basically just writing it out. And what happens next? They come back to the retest. You see this? If this is the area that we created the breakout and the retest, how low did that go? Not that lower than the equal lows. So your stop loss was always where? In the equal low, right? So that's like confluence for you to have a directional move into like a long or short position into New York Open. Now it's not gonna always look like this, right? That's the problem. You guys need time in the market to be able to decipher these little cues in the Magnificent Seven to be able to like see it in real time and be like, okay, I see how the direction is going in one way or another, right? But look, at 8 a.m., you basically had a total of here. You had a total of like what is that, $2.16? That's not a lot to you and me, but the people that are playing millions and millions of dollars, that's a lot. And again, this is a whole 1 hour and 20 minutes. So what happens next? You have the classic bullish pattern right here. Boom, they come down, hunt the stop loss liquidity, and then they already had the direction. You just didn't see it because you're so fixated on finding where's the short, where's the short, where's the short. Make sense? Now look at the Apple. Same thing with Apple. Where are we at? Oh, it's Thursday, my bad. All right, perfect. So we have on Apple basically a strong buying pressure right here, right? They create some sort of like really, really slow grind to the upside accumulating, and then they pump up, come back. If this is resistance turning into support, you have equal lows, right? Equal lows. But that's 5:30 a.m. by the way. And then you can see how market's trying to push to the upside, but what do? They do a stop loss hunt. They fill the gap. They fill the gap. Not entirely, but you can see they fill the gap. And then basically they pump to the upside. At 9:20, they're already running. But what happens next? How do you know the reverse was happening? At one point in the morning, I was telling you guys, damn, Apple is rallying, but everything else is not. I don't know if you guys remember that. I was telling you guys that in the early morning. But look, you can see the reversal real clear. So if we rallied and we based and rallied, isn't this the start of the first rejection for selling pressure? What is my favorite great? What is my favorite doji, guys? I tell you guys all the time. What is that called? If you don't know this, please, somebody make me
Yes,
smile. What is this? What is the answer to this? What's the name of that doji?
I know. I think I know. Can I say it?
Wilder got it. Gravestone.
Oh,
It's a gravestone.
never.
It's a gravestone, guys. Just think about it. Es una tumba. If you're coming from, if you're a fallen angel from earth, from heaven to earth, you're literally dead meat in earth, right? You're just think of a fallen angel. You know, he came from heaven all the way down. And basically, he has a gravestone now on his head. You know, so that means a mega what? Mega death. Now you notice it didn't happen right away. It pumped first, right? Gave it some more neutral candles, right? Try to push to the upside. You can see the selling pressure with a hanging man. That's my second favorite candle. And then you have the directional move to the downside. So if you're getting the cue of market seeing some kind of resistance, do you always get in at the beginning of that resistance? No, no. Why? Because you now have a shoulder, head, and shoulder. And now you have that directional move here. So you can see the resistance. So we have shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline retest how many times? One, two, three. And then you can see that flush. And what it do? It comes right back, boom, retests that zone, and comes right back down. That's a lot of selling pressure. That's confirmation of what? A low high. And this goes back to what I talk about. You don't need a sniper entry to make money. You don't need to chase price to make money. You need to let the market come to you and show you the bigger picture for you to be like, oh, damn, you know what? I'm not even missing out on anything because at the end of the day, I can wait for the real setup to show up completely and make my money where I'm more confident to see more confluences. Guys, at 9:30 a.m. in the morning, just because you see people say, oh, I just made 1,800, I'm out. Peace out, guys. You know, that doesn't mean you need to make money that fast. You know, just because you see somebody say, yo, I made 1,300, that should not feel any kind of discouragement to you. If anything, it should make you feel proud that somebody else was able to see direction, capitalize from it, take the risk, and then from there, later on, when the direction gave you the more confluence, guess what? Now you're the more patient trader. Now you're the one that's actually able to survive a little longer to say, okay, now I can take a better setup. Now I can get in with the market because now I have point of control. I have the orb open. I know that Rigo's going to tell me a direction more or less more clear, or whatever the case is. Whatever makes you feel more confident to be able to choose a direction. And even if you don't take a trade, guys, does that mean you had a bad trading day or that you suck as a person? It doesn't. It just means you're more patient than the rest of the people. Because I guarantee you guys, just because you're making $1,000 every single day, the moment you lose, are you gonna go in tilt mode? You're not, because you're gonna be able to tell yourself, I have set of rules that I follow, and I have a set of risk management that follow that Jimmy keeps hammering you guys with. Jimmy keeps telling you guys it's all about risk management, right? But I also tell you guys, being a 30 to 40% like trader is not a bad thing. It's a really good thing because now you had more opportunities to enter the market. And even though your setup didn't work, those small L's where you're punching bag to be able to take those hits. So when the real risk reward gave you that 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, guess who's making real bank? Not the guy next to you, but you. Because you open your mind and you expand yourself to be able to see these swings that are huge. Because for people to make $1,000, 1,800, and like the open bell, you're supposed to be going 2, 3 minis in, which whatever direction it goes without you thinking about it. And if you're wrong, trust me, you're blowing that account real quick. You could get lucky so many times, but there's that one time that you just it cuts hard and it hits hard. And guess what? Now your edge is out. So this is where it goes, where you become a better trader by understanding the structure of how things work, the behavior of candles, and the direction of candles. Okay? But you see how the Magnificent Seven all tell a story? It's basically seven big companies of the 100 companies on the NASDAQ that give you that confluence. That's all it is, guys. And then you can see the same thing in NASDAQ, basically. Look. Oops. Where are we at? Monday? Bro, sometimes I forget my day, the day I'm in. It's crazy. There you go. Look, you can see very clearly market came with a nice little pump, right? Look, we had the equal lows, right? Came back down, right? Trying to create some kind of support. Takes out another support, right? And basically, right here, they give you that reversal. You see how we had that strong buying pressure, even though there was selling pressure right here? That engulf candle pushes to the upside. Then you have some neutral candle right here, right on top of what? Resistance. So that's just proof to tell you and show you that a gravestone doesn't mean it's just a mega def. You need the confirmation candle for the direction. Okay? Look at the resistance right here. Look. Basically, this was initial resistance, equal highs, right? Then anybody that would be looking at this as a double top neckline retest would be like, okay, I could enter here. But well, what confirmations? You could get a nice short from here, guys. It's not that bad. Look, 80 points, 82 points. Guys, this whole market conditions that we're in is not terrible, terrible. But if you know how to understand the structures of like the double tops, equal lows, you could get 40 points and be happy with that. You could get 40 points in the morning and 40 points in the afternoon, and you're making your 500, 600 bucks a day. I'm telling you because I do that. If I don't get a trade in the morning with you guys, I get a trade in the afternoon at 12:30 or at 1:30. Why? Because I know that that's lunchtime with the algorithm for any retracements or any liquidity sweeps, or I know that the 1:30 p.m. PMO is going to give me some kind of directional move. You just have to understand that everything that happens random in the market, there's certain timestamps in the time that you're trading that are best and more quality trades than just taking anything just because you opened up your chart. And I'm speaking to Karan more than anything because I know he's a good trader. I know that he can pass this shit. So just becoming more in tune and more aware. I know it's hard to see everything in the fucking chart. I know it's hard. I know it's really hard to see that on your phone, man. But that you can do this, you can do this, bro. Today I had a bias with longs today. I was hoping that we would make it like into into like 850, but we never got there at one point, I think. Um it is what it is. The market is not gonna always do everything like look pretty. Any questions, guys? I like trading on the 5 minute. The 1 minute and the 5 minute are usually my to go to because the 5 minute for me is continuation candles. So let's look at the 5 minute. Let's actually do the orb strategy. Anybody want to walk me through how I do my orb strategy, guys? It's not my orb strategy, it's just the orb strategy. But that's my favorite strategy at the moment. Who wants to walk me through what I do every day? I wait for 8 a.m., right? Okay, good. And what do I do in the 8 a.m.? What do I do in the 8 a.m., Wilder? Mark until 9:30. Good job. That's perfect. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Second. Where is it at? Right here. So 8 a.m. Mark, please write this down. If you guys are not writing this down, it's so easy, guys. It's so easy. It's from 8 a.m. all the way to 9:30. I I I start at 8 a.m. Okay, so I get the 8 a.m. There's a reason why I get the 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. It's because I get the point of control for the pre-market. So in pre-market, there's certain things that the market is doing on purpose to like start liquidity or at least have an area where they want to fill in their orders, right? So yes, Wilder is right. From 8 to 9:30. But let's just, for purposes of this, I want to make sure you guys understand why I do it like this first. So let's put here point of control, 8 a.m., right? And I'm going to change this to Y. Change this to Y. I don't want to confuse you guys. So that's point of control. Then at 9:30 on the dot, I move it over to 9:30 just to make sure it's the same, almost, or familiar or similar. As you can see, it moved a little bit to the low, right? 9:30 moved a little bit to the low. Now I have my point of control for 9:30. Right? Now I delete it. I don't care. I don't care to have that in front of me. Less is more on your chart. Now that's all creating me. It's an area for support or resistance, right? And now the next thing I will look for the orb, the 15-minute, the first 15-minute candle. Where are we at? So from 9:30 to 9:45, you can see this is the 9:30 candle right here. I create my orb. So this is would be the orb right here. And this is the orb bottom. So I change the name right here and I'll put orb top, right? Let's make it a different color. Let's do that blue, blue. And then here, let's just make it, let's make it red just so it's easy to see if there's cells. Did I change the name? I didn't change the name of it. Or bottom. Any questions so far, guys? All right. So if we already got the range, right? The open range. Now, one thing to consider, right? If this was basically us creating like some kind of resistance, yeah, TDO and PMO, we don't need that right now. It's not part of the orb strategy. TDO and PMO are usually something that happens the day before that's already marked on my chart. I don't want to throw off people with too many steps of how easy the orb is to see because again, as you can see, it's already like enough information. Look where we are. If this was point of control from 930, didn't we just reject 930 right now? If this is the low high, let's say this is real market time right now. This is the low high and this is the directional move, and then we came back to confirm rejection for continuation. Where are we heading to, guys? We're heading to the bottom right here. If this is where if this is where we created support, that's where we're heading. 795. It's that simple. Because now the same directional move of wherever there was like control of price to now push down, the next thing to see is okay, we're rejecting to continue to the upside. There's no new higher high. But let's not get carried away with all that. Let's keep talking about 930. If we have a 4 bar reversal, guys, at one point in the morning, I told you guys we had a 4 bar reversal, and I did specify that we had some push to the upside. I don't remember at what time it was, but I did tell you guys that in the 5 minute I saw like strong buying pressure. So basically, we created resistance, right? If this was resistance, we created buy pressure here. You already had equal lows. You see the equal lows? And this is where you guys can't get confused, guys. You saw how earlier I told you guys that we had like a little shoulder, head, and shoulder right here. Like a lot of you guys would see that and be like, oh shit, this is perfect, right? I could like basically take the setup in short. But look how strong that shit was. That's a key level right there. That's a strong demand zone. That was your indication to be careful of shorting here. Because you already had a what? What is this called? An engulf candle, right? And when you have an engulf candle, right, you always have a push back to the downside to do what? To retrace, to create another key level. Because you don't need to chase price, guys. You guys are patient traders, right? I hope so. If you guys are patient traders, you guys are waiting for what? Confirmation candles. Look, you can even see it more clear in the 2 minute. On the 2 minute, you had basically equal lows, right? Right here, equal low support right here, and then the push to the upside. The push to the upside basically gave you the directional move. And then suddenly at the top, you had that strong, like somewhere here, I think I was long today. I don't remember. I think I was long today. At one point, I was up like 800 and something dollars. And I was like, damn, I'm gonna get a $2,000 trade. I was aiming for like 850 or some shit like that. Um, but it didn't happen. It is what it is. By the way, I don't know why price looks a little different here than it does on Top Step because I don't remember this being 24,900 in the morning. It's probably the contract rollover. That's why. I don't know. So, yeah, with that being said, you had the directional move, right? Strong buying pressure, continuation, 1, 2, 3, right? And then we come back to retest. Resistance turns into what? Support. More continuation to the long side, right? We had the 4 bar reversal, 4 bar reversal with continuation to the upside, neckline retest, right? And then suddenly you have what? What is this called, Isabel? What is this called, Isabel? Or Marcos, what is this
E-
called, bro?
Equal,
Say it again.
equal highs.
There you go. Hey, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. At least you're getting the concept. So we have equal
Mm-hmm.
highs and we have that nice move to the up to the downside. 1, 2, 3, and then the falling crow. Like basically you have 3 nights falling, I think they call it. I don't know what the fuck they're called. It's crazy. I don't know what things are called. I just know what they look like. And you have the directional move. The directional move gave you that nice push to the downside. If this was previous support, you can see the rejection from the support line. So support turns into what? Resistance. And then more continuation like drop base drop. And then you had that strong what? Sweep. And then you had that nice push to the upside. Here, my mentor was telling me that it was gonna keep going down. And I'm like, no, bro. That's a 4 bar reversal. I think I called this. I called this out. And I wasn't live, but I wrote it to you guys. I'm like, oh, this is a 4 bar reversal right here. That right there was beautiful. That was perfect. Why? Look at the characteristics. If this was the lowest point we came and then we swept, right? Plus all these people that entered like first to buy, that was your indication to go long. Now you just have to wait for what? The break, the breakout, right? If this is resistance, resistance, and now they come back to what? The neckline to create support. You see how you don't have to make money on the sniper entry? When you have more confirmations after confirmations, you just got to be patient. Just take the trade once you see the direction of move. So basically sweep, 4 bar reversal, continuation, breakout, retest, continue to the upside. And then you see another reversal inside a supply zone. If this was supply right here, right? How high can it go? Well, you can see the first area of sellers, and then what do? They come back up to take out the first sellers, stop loss, and then they start throwing the direction to manipulate longs, and then boom, and then your directional move. Isn't it easier to see the market when you see a pattern than when you're trying to get a sniper entry and trying to force a trade? You ever ask yourself, man, why am I always right, but I'm not right? Why am I always entering the market, but it doesn't go with me? It's because you're not waiting for the actual confirmation candle. That's all. That's all it is. You're not waiting for the confirmation candle. What is the confirmation candle, guys?
Can
So
I ask you something?
go ahead. Go ahead. You have every right to ask me any question.
Okay, so will the confirmation candle will that be called momentum candle as well, or is that like different?
Um, I wouldn't call it a momentum candle. I would just call it a confirmation candle. Don't complicate it. Jimmy, would you like to pitch in on that?
What was the question?
Go ahead and ask him the question, Isabel.
I was just asking if the confirmation candle can be called momentum candle as well.
I wouldn't call it a momentum candle. I would. I don't know how to explain it. I kind of just see it, but the momentum candle is kind of like the break, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Me
That's
too.
more like the break, because you want to see the break with momentum and then retest. You don't want to see the it break and then immediately retest, because it's gonna most likely be a failed break, and then we're just gonna reverse back up or back down, whatever,
Look,
whichever way we go.
the momentum candle is usually like this right here. You see how it has a longer candle with less wick? That's a momentum. You see how
Can
that?
momentum candle be three candles as well?
No, those are more
Like
like
the same color?
um. If you look at the higher time frame, maybe you might see it. You might see momentum a little easier for you. I don't know. Let's see. Look. So you see how we have one, two, three. That
Mm-hmm.
you could consider that momentum to the upside. Continuation candles would be these right here. Break and retest, right? Break and
Mm-hmm.
retest, continuation to the upside. You see how they have really small candles, like I'm sorry, really small wicks. The wick of the candle is small, so it's like the momentum is to the upside. I wouldn't call it a momentum though, because in order for you to be calling a momentum, it has to be strong like this right here, like an engulf candle. That's a momentum candle. That's strong. There was a lot of power to it, you know? When you see small candles like 10 points, 5 points, 20 points, I don't really consider that momentum. But
Okay, thank you.
cool. Anybody have any questions of anything that we've talked about so far? Cool. Well, that was a great hour, guys. I'm glad that you guys were able to learn or at least tune in to learn something. I'm glad that a few guys were able to ask questions. Don't ever be shy to ask me any questions, guys. I'm here to like help as much as I can, and me answering your questions, it actually helps me. I learn myself. I'm a student of the market. I don't know all the answers to everything. I don't even know the technical terms to everything, guys. That's the crazy part. I don't know all these ICT or SMT frameworks, but I understand what they like. If you show me what they look like, I'm like, oh, that's what I trade. I know what that's called. and I just call it a 4 bar reversal or something like that. But yeah, good session. I'm glad that you guys came in, and any questions tomorrow we'll be in together. So I hope to see all of you guys at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. I'm not announcing when I go live. Just show up 9:15 a.m. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see each other tomorrow.
Good.